Yo, what's up everyone? We're back. Today we're just gonna go over a chip guide. Basically, this won't be as in depth as my other guide I've done on Jacko. I had a lot more time with Jacko, obviously, so I feel a lot more confident with how I speak about her. But with Chip, I only feel confident enough to kind of give like a very beginner's guide to kind of what to do. So we're just gonna go over like what kind of buttons I think are best to use when you're starting to play this character, what your general like game plan is, like the neutral and stuff, the block strings and how you kind of want to play him when you're pressuring someone. Then probably some combos, and then very light mix-up. This character is very mix-up heavy. Obviously, I only spent like a week with him, so I didn't have much time to kind of really get into the nitty-gritty. But for a beginner stuff, like you can really kind of this is like like the beginning of the formation. You can kind of build up from this. Say this is like the base, I guess you could say. But yeah, he's a very fun character as well, which I think is the most important thing. I know that's like one of those sayings, isn't it, when people go, "Oh, it's the most fun thing," but I think, yeah, that really is definitely the coolest thing about him. How funny he is. I didn't expect him to be this fun. But anyway, I'm gonna start with his like kind of neutral game. So obviously Chip is really quick. That's obviously like his gimmick. But he's also like he takes like a lot of damage. So he'll take a lot more damage than other characters. So you need to kind of like use his mobility as his like crutch kind of thing. When you're kind of like playing him, you kind of want to play like at this kind of like here. You kind of want opponents to chase you around. So he's got 3 jumps, and I think you can do a super jump and then a jump, or once you've done 2, you can't do a dash, but you can do a back dash, like a jump, back dash, then a jump again. So you like it's just like learning his air mobility. Like this isn't super important from the beginning, but like just get used to like going around the screen with him and stuff like that. Obviously he has other ways to traverse the screen. He has the alpha. These have like a lot of recovery, so you might want to like Roman cancel out if you like say if you're like right under an opponent. Like you might want to like just in case you'll probably get punished. And obviously he has this one as well, which can be used like as a you want to use it all the time, but you can catch opponents and stuff like that. You can probably get a combo if you get used to him, like the muscle memory. So yeah, don't kind of like always run like you think because he's rushed down. You gotta like get like this is the goal, but you kind of want to like be careful how you do it. Some characters it's easier, some characters it's worse. You kind of have to really play around. You just want to kind of be annoying. I guess that's the best way to kind of describe it. That's what I kind of tried to do when I was playing him anyway. So yeah, that generally is his neutral. Like it is just be annoying. Obviously, he has this as well, his tightrope, which I'm gonna get into, and yeah, I'll do a section on that as well. But like, yeah, you kind of want to like, don't worry about this at the start. Obviously, I will go into what I learned. I didn't learn much, to be honest with you. But like, this should be like, I guess what you work towards over time. You should start with like just getting used to moving around, using your other tools. You know, and focus on whiff punishing, and trying to catch the opponent. Like, don't necessarily always try and go to them. Right, so we're going to talk about his buttons now. The buttons I kind of was using on round start, I was just focusing like using fast slash a lot. It does get beaten out like by like 6Ps and stuff, but it does have like a nice range. It doesn't really go into much, so I was kind of just doing this. And there's probably something better you can do, or like you could do something like this maybe. But yeah, I was kind of like just like I think fast slash was the one I was using the most, and then some characters that had a net way of beating it, I was using 2S. This is the next button I kind of was going to. So it hits low, which is really nice. So you can catch the ankles and stuff. One thing is he's really quick. It's really good. Obviously his 6P standard is pretty good 6P as well, and it's good for like say they're trying to counter your fast slash. So this is the button. So you can like do run up and obviously do stuff like this, like with using the drift. And obviously like this. One thing to note is his 2S has a whiff cancel into his 2HS. I don't know if other characters have this in the game. So this can be quite annoying for the opponent. Like tries to say if you're just doing this. Obviously this isn't like something you should really do, but just an example. Say they run up and then you just cancel into that. The opponent does have to play around that, and this has like a really good hitbox. Like obviously the recovery on it is like pretty awful, so you don't want to do this like regularly, but it is something to worth note. You can like if you whiff this, you can obviously do this. So there's something to bear in mind. So these are the ones I was prioritizing on. Obviously 5H is really good as well. Kind of looks like the 6P, but it's a bit different. It's really good for just like whiff punishing as well in general. Like it goes, you'd be surprised how much it goes through. Like it goes through Gunflame as well. When I was facing like the Soul matchup, it was like really easy to kind of like get a counter hit on Soul and stuff. Obviously, I didn't play him for a long time, so I'm sure there was a much better thing. Maybe you could go into this, maybe. But that'd be something you have to build on over time. But yeah, so right, so you got your Fire Slash, your 2S, don't forget your Whiff Cancel, which is obviously a launcher as well, something to bear in mind. Obviously 5H just for Whiff Punishing, which is pretty decent. And this isn't something I do all the time. This is a 6HS, so like, but I found this like quite good just for like catching. Like, this is like a massive counter hit reward when you hit it, but it forces crouching as well, which is quite cool, because then you can like go into your Wrecker, which is quite nice. You don't get much damage, but it's quite a nice situation to be in. So you don't get used to doing this all the time, but this is like quite a nice one to kind of like throw out every now and then when you land. It's not like when you land it, it's pretty fun. On defense, you have his right. So you got his 2K. This is 5 frames, so you can mash out with this as well. So you can't mash, so it isn't like chainable, but like his 2P is. So generally, you want to like kind of use the 2P instead on defense if you're like mashing out, for example. This is like if you think you got like a sure thing. So it's more like on mix-ups. Like it's quite good like up close, but like if you're like push someone out, or maybe they've got pushed back on there, whatever, like it can miss like quite easily. So this is probably the one you want to go. Obviously, like there are certain moves that go under the 2P, but like this is ideally the one you kind of want to go if you want to mash out. Obviously, he has DP as well. So, and you can do it in the air. I mean, I don't know why you would. I'm sure there's maybe a combo application, but I never found myself doing it in the air. But that's just me. But anyway, yeah, you got that. So, if you're not comfortable with doing DP, obviously these are the ones you kind of want to focus on. One thing that's really cool in the corner as well is you can use this. Sorry, you can do 2P, 2P, and you can use this to get out of the corner. Obviously, people can grab this because this doesn't combo, but using alpha, obviously don't get like predictable, but using alpha blades also really good for like getting out of the corner in general. But practice your DPs and stuff. Like once you get this down, if you're like a beginner to the game and you don't know how to do this, like you just you hold forward and do the fireball motion, and it's a bit complicated on the start, but when you get used to it, you can do it all the time. Like I used to really struggle with this input, and I don't generally play characters with DPs as well. Like this is like playing Chipp was a treat, if I'm being honest. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of like the buttons I would be mostly use. In the air, this is his jump in, 5AHS. It's the one I use. This is like his cross up button. If you're not me, you can mix it up. This is the kind of one. This is more like an air to air one I test it. If someone like me is in the air, it's 2 hits. So it's kind of like, this is the kind of one you want to do in the air, I guess you could say. So yeah, 5P, jump P is not that great. It's alright. Probably niche applications. I think this wall bounces when they're like in the air. Yeah, so there's probably some combo application for that, but I didn't get into that the nitty gritty of Chipp's like complete corner stuff. But yeah. Oh, I almost forgot. This move is really good. Sorry. 5K. You can chain this. Like this is unique to Chipp, I think. There might be another character in the game who does this, but he can chain into his 5K. So this is like quite good for like say someone's getting off the floor, and then you want to like check them with something. Then this is kind of a button you kind of want to do. It's really good with like dash momentum as well. Got a nice decent range. Like a lot of his buttons aren't like, they're pretty stubby, like outside of like these ones. But yeah, it is fairly decent. So for that. But yeah, and 5P is kind of like an anti-air. This used to be 3 frames, so I believe it used to be much better like on defense or niche situations. It's 4 frames now, so it is still fast. But to be honest, I found myself using, I don't know, maybe like this, or I think it was that. I just went into 6HS, and then like, this is on like an anti-air, by the way, so it wasn't like I was running up and doing this, like, because if the opponent's ducking, this is pretty useless. What's this crouch, isn't it? And I'm sure there's like a few characters this doesn't whiff on when they crouch, maybe Gold Lewis and Potemkin maybe, or Nagaryuki, but this is pretty useless outside of a few niche applications. But you know, it's nice. It has a full frame button. But, you know, it's not maze. You know, that's the god one. Okay, actually, let's go. So that's kind of like his neutral and his buttons. They're the kind of things you really want to do. But let's get into like block string pressure. Chipp, this is where he kind of shines, and I think the best way you can kind of like get good with Chipp, you're not always going to be landing the big counter hits. Like the idea is you will like do is it slash? You do close slash. Is it this one? Close slash into 6HS, and this is where you get your like big old juicy hits, and you get your nice combos or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of like the goal. But obviously you want to like mix up between all of Chipp's like kind of like just be random as hell. Like mind you, most of this stuff's like if the opponent like knows how to deal with it, like all of his stuff's interactable. Like this can be grabbed. And if you do this and they block it both, you're like really minus here. You got this one. Again minus, but these are like you've got to keep your opponent guessing. You've just got to do really random stuff. Go into this, go into the grab. You know, just or just delay, then reset. You know, obviously you got his wrecker, something to bear in mind. I'll go into the wrecker in a minute, but yeah, it's all about like just keeping your opponent guessing. You know, or don't just do alpha blade all the time. You know, because the opponent will just deal with it. You can mash out of this, you can grab it. Like it is kind of only it's reactable, but because he has so much mental stack, that's what makes it, like, that's the weakness to it. Like, if you keep doing it, then you're going to get predictable. Same with this as well. Like, everything has an answer. You can mash out most things, like, even the grab. Like, this beats, like, backdash for some characters, unless they time it, like, perfectly fine, you know. But, like, you can mash out of this, you know. You can mash out of this. You can mash out of this. You can mash out of this, I believe. Maybe I think this actually frame traps. If you do it correctly. But anyway, yeah, so your main goal with Chipp is to mix it up. But one block string I kind of like to do, so the opponent is like just blocking or they're mashing at the right time. Obviously they can mash out this as well, mind you, so it's not like foolproof, but this is like the kind of the block string you should really focus on when you start. Just do close slash 2HS, like go this into and then cancel into this, and then sorry. Do that, and then just keep looping this, and then every now and then maybe go for a grab or something like that, you know, just because this is +9, I believe. There is a mashable gap. If the opponent's mashing in between like this will catch some things, but you want to like kind of run up and do 2k2d to like kind of like stop them from mashing. But this is like a really good starting point, I found. So you can do this, just kind of mixed out, but obviously you don't get like too stuck in the rhythm, you know. But that was the one I also started with. Also, obviously, I was saying a good frame trap is just do close slash into 6HS. This is like a 1 frame gap, so they have to do a invincible move for it. But if they're mashing, this is like, I think this is his best starter. I'm not sure. Also, like if you look at the risk bar, it builds a considerable amount of risk just for 2 buttons, you know. But what I do once you go into this route, say you've committed, you can then go here, then go here. This is like kind of like the example I kind of go with. But then you go, if you hit, if this lands a hit, then the wrecker forces crouch. Sorry, the 6HS forces crouch, and then you can get the full wrecker off. So then if with meter, you can kind of do that combo there, and then go in super. If you have 100, you know, obviously that's 100 meter, so for 100 meter that's not amazing, but it's like, these are like kind of the applications you can kind of put in. So if you do this combo like this, you know, you're too far out, so it's like literally just this one. So the wrecker is one thing that's to know about it. So the kind of mind games around this, I think this is -4, so you can just loop it, and then you can like frame trap them. Obviously they can mash out of this and they can jump away, like they don't have to interact with this at all, but the threat is the follow up, which is a low, or you can just do straight go into the high. Obviously, you don't really want to go into the high unless you have like meter, because this is -9, and you can go to the low and you go to the low and then go to the high, but you can't go to the high and then back into the low. So the mix-up is literally, oh, do I go low? You can delay these as well, which is something to note. You don't have to like go, oh, you know, You know, do you delay, go low, or do you delay and go again? You know, or do you delay and then go overhead, and preferably your meter, and then you can confirm off of it. So that's the thing about notice about like the record. This here is -6, so this is still punishable, but most characters have a pretty hard time unless they insta block. And the overhead is -9, so you're eating a punish if you do this without meter. So it's good to kind of like really slow things down when you're playing as Chipp. Also, another thing about the wrecker is you can cancel into a super. So you can cancel into super, which like gets you a wall break, which is like quite decent damage if you like just land that to hit. So there's something to bear in mind, and the way you do that is when you input the second hit. It doesn't have to be the low, by the way, so it can be the overhead, but I just find it easier to do the hit because when you do the it's just the way I have my layout. When you do the slash attack, the low slash, you have to input quarter circle forward twice, then do P. They're just right next to each other, so you just have to enter it like around the same time. You do wrecker, and when you do your second wrecker input, you need to do quarter circle forward twice and then P. Like that. Obviously, you can extend the whole thing. You can do it like that, and that's off the kick, which is the overhead. So you can do that as well. So it's something to bear in mind. Alright, so that's kind of like the block strings. So you just got to obviously, as I said, be random. Obviously, I think most of his kit to be really good with him is just random. We're gonna go over the before I do the combo section. I'm just gonna literally go over the rope because I think the rope. I don't know much about it, so I'm not like. There's probably like much better guides to kind of, but I can give you like an idea on how to like kind of start it up and stuff, and the applications I kind of bring it out in. I will show a quick. I've done a rope combo in my last video, but I will show a rope video again so I can just explain it as best I can. But essentially, the rope is obviously his new move, and this is probably the main reason a lot of people might want to pick him up because it's pretty flashy and cool. And they changed his whole game plan, I believe, around this thing, so it is balanced around it. He gets his highest damaging combos off the rope. So I think getting the rope is going to be, getting used to it is going to be like the main thing with Chipp. So it's just you quarter circle back HJS. Now if you don't hold it, he literally just pushes it out on the screen and it stays out for a certain amount of time. Now when it's like this, the way you get on the move is you need to do, it's a bit awkward at first, but you need to do like K alpha, which is the up, the freaking thing's gone. You need to do K alpha blade, but you have to hold up when you do it. And then he'll go on top. You don't have to. Sorry, you don't have to hold up, but that's if you want to go on top of the thing. This is why it feels a bit awkward. But then if you want to go on the underside, you just hold down. Now, when the thing's out, when the rope is out, the way you can kind of do all your moves, he will directly just run at the move. He'll directly just run in one direction. When he gets to the wall, he'll head up. Obviously, he will just run up the wall if you are close enough to it. Like that, so you can like a normal wall run. So you can transition into the wall run if you so desire. And yeah, another way to kind of hold it is that you, instead of doing the like set and then using the K alpha to kind of get on, you can hold it and then he'll automatically get on. Now to get off, you just press dust. But if you hold back and dust, he'll jump backwards. This where it starts to get a bit confusing. When I'll show like a brief mix-up with it in a minute. What I kind of do, it's not like an amazing mix-up. It's not refined if I say, but it's something you can kind of use to get started. but you would use this technique to kind of like get used to that. But yeah, so there's the two ways to kind of set it and stuff like that. And the mix-up is something like this. So you just hold back, and then you would do 2K2D, or you go like this, and then you just press D. That's the only difference. You have to time it manually. You can probably do something better than me. This is literally just like me just mucking about with like what I don't understand. So you gotta like time it exactly like right. Even now I'm like I'm no expert. But yeah, so that's kind of like the early game mix-up. Just when you're playing and get used to doing 2K2D, and then setting, and then getting used to jumping off. And then that will kind of like be, I guess, your starting point. And then like when you're more confident with him and stuff like that, try go onto another character, try go to like a Dust Loop or another guide that kind of goes more extensively, because there's some really good guides out there. If I can find the, I'll link any in the description. But yeah, this is obviously his, like in a week, this is not easy to pick up. Right, so I'm just gonna go over like the combos I kind of do, just to start off with Chipp. Like, don't go too crazy with him. The standard ones I use are this. Just quite nice. It takes you straight to the corner. Obviously, you can use this combo and then go into Wild Assault, and then do something like that. And then you just get straight to the wall. So that is one way to wall break with Wild Assault as well. So you go into the 6K a lot, because this combo is even on like standard hit, which is really, really nice. So yeah, just literally just go Rekka, and you know, and obviously if you want to like continue this, obviously you want to do it at the right timing, and you can go straight through the wall. You don't even have to fast cancel. You know, and you go like that, or do super, you know, and it's pretty decent damage, you know, for 1 bar of meter and stuff. 2K2D, you just do this, and then I was saying you go into that. You know, or you can do this. If you want to get out of the corner, this is really good. This is another one. Like, say you catch, like, it doesn't have to be this, because that doesn't combo, but this does combo. So you can get out of the corner that way, and start establishing pressure and stuff like that. So that's what I do off 2K2D. Literally, this is another really good one to start off with. You go like this. You can like take the corner. Say if you're like want to get the corner, you can like end in super. Seems like a pretty decent way to do it. So you can do the Wild Assault to end the combo. You can do that. That's always another nice way to kind of end the combo. Like if you don't want to spend any meter, it depends. Like if you've how asleep at the wheel you are, to be honest. But yeah, it's a pretty decent way to kind of start the combo strings is just by doing either the. It depends really. Like if you go, because the reason why you'd want to do this over like say this, because obviously this is a frame trap if they're blocking. But the reason you do this is because the 2HS is low, so that's the reason you want to do that one. But yeah, they're kind of like his standard combos, I'd say, to start with. They're pretty simple. And then his combos involving his rope, which I've shown in the last video, but I'll show you again now just for the process of this video because it's in it. These are the ones you can kind of work on to the end. They're not like amazing, but they do the job. You can end that with a super if you want to. You don't have to end it like how I did there, or you can do the counter hit one. Now the counter hit one is much harder than the one with the roam cancel. So you gotta like kind of use your kicks instead of your slashes because you'd have less. There's more gravity on the combo. So yeah, they're the kind of the ones you want to focus on doing. But yeah, that pretty much is my chip guide. This is like how much I learned in a week for the character. Like I said, he's very fun. I do like humbly recommend you like give him a go. Like he is, his weaknesses like around like his health and stuff. Like obviously if you get hit, you feel it, and the first few days are pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie. Like it feels like, oh man, like. But when you get more comfortable with what you're meant to be doing with him, and I imagine like this will only get better and better the more you stick with him. Like if you stick with him for like a month, I think you'll be pretty good. Like to be honest, but it's just like keep playing him and like don't drop him, and then build on what you can like kind of learn. But I guess start with like the base foundation I've set out, and hopefully that will be good enough for you to kind of build on it. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun with him. I have decided that Testament will be the next character I look at. I've been off for the past week. I've been a little bit busy, so this is taking a little bit longer to get out than I wanted. But I'm hopefully it helps people, which is the main thing. But yeah, expect Testament stuff soon, which should be fun because I don't like Testament, so it should be interesting. But yeah, anyway, take care.